Yeah. And I'm just thinking, I mean, this is obviously wrapping up our series, but just how important each thing is, like a life preserver, right? We could go on and on about that. Even just, this is small, but like turtle wax. I don't even know if they use that on a boat, but it would make sense. Whatever they use to
clean it,
polish
it. Yeah.
Like all of those things matter so much in our relationship. And sometimes, even though we might say that when hearing something like this, it's not a focus to us.
Yeah.
Like I'm not thinking about how I can polish us. How can I know we went through a season of like you like choosing to cherish me, asking in what ways would you feel cherished? Would you feel adored? How would you, like those things matter so much. I remember going through a season of like, I'm not going to ask Lamars to do one thing. And it was just a way of like honoring you and loving you and just being a helpmate, right? So there are different things God calls us to, but if we're not focused on that or recognizing we haven't done that in a while, I didn't even mean to do this. It just happened.
Here we go.
You get rusty.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I'm just picturing is like a rusty old boat with holes in it. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not what it was intended to be. That was never the point of its creation, right? Its entirety. So just knowing for us, we must be intentional on how we're navigating, who's navigating us, right?
Yeah.
Being so tender to one another, making sure that our focus is we are anchored in Christ always, right? And then just continuing to be careful and mindful about what we're speaking.
Yeah.
Because we discussed this too, but a boat has two rudders in case something happens to one, right?
Yeah, that's
so
good.
There are seasons where one is not as strong. The other one might feel more weary, or that's kind of the goal in marriage, that you're not by yourself in it.
Oh,
the other one can pick you up. And so if we make these things a focus and a priority in our marriage, we're just going to see SEA,
right?
How much further we get. No, but really, how much further we get. Like, how did we get to this place in a beautiful way? How did we get here? What are we doing here? Like what used to be choppy. What used to look like a crazy storm that we were a part of. And the clouds cover our view and they lie to us. And they right? They don't look like there's any way getting out. Now we're in this place where we want to be and we've chosen to be.
Absolutely. And you're talking about the little things that take care of the boat, right? The tenders, right? And just in the maintenance of the boat, right? When you come up from the water, you got to drain the engines. You got to make sure all the water's out before you put it up. You got to make sure the sails are folded right? You got to make sure everything's powered off. These are small things to help the boat run for the long haul. And it's the exact same thing in relationships. It's the small things, to your point, the kind words, letting each other know that you actually care. Like 3 words that will kill a relationship. I don't care. Kill. It's a relationship killer. It's like
why I feel like you said it to me. I'm like offended.
It's like throwing anchors in the boat instead of outside of it. Right? It's like intentionally damaging the boat. It's like throwing the navigation system off. You're not going to end up where you want to go. It's going to send you where you don't want to go. So it's the small things in relationship to help you keep the maintenance of the marriage. And that's hard because it requires change. You know what I mean? And change is the number one factor for a healthy relationship. And you've heard me say this for years. God saved you the way that you were, but he does not intend for you to stay the same, right? And Christianity is the only religion that calls us for maturity. So some of us got to grow up, you know?
No, we all have to grow up. Even if we're grown up, we got to grow up. We got to keep going.
Because we grow in stature physically, but emotionally we might still be 14, right? Relationally, emotionally.
And I mean, yes to all that. But I also mean, even if we feel like we have matured, there's still more. We don't stop maturing. Right. And it is also interesting because, again, just in your personal life, you'll focus on one thing and tend to not see like, oh, that area is slipping, or, oh, I just, called this person an idiot that cut me off, or, whatever it is, because God has called us to a different place to see people the way he sees them. So that's a constant change and a constant battle.
And your sails matter in the storm too. right?
Yeah.
And we talked about this a few episodes. Storms are coming. If we know they're coming, what are we doing to prepare for them, right? They're coming. It's not an if, it's a when. So how you build the foundation of your life, one, how you prepare your boat for the sail to where
Yeah.
you going matters, right? I'm always fascinated with these stories when people get lost at sea. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's been a few movies where somebody got completely lost, or they was out for 40 days and they drank water from whatever. You know what I mean? Thank goodness the boat still floated. You know what I mean? They hit a bad storm, a sail broke, an engine went out. They're still on top of the water because they stayed in the boat. So there's going to be tough seasons in your marriage. Stay in the boat. There's going to be circumstances that come outside of your control. Stay in the boat. There might be damage done because of words I've said or character. Stay in the boat. You know what I mean? Like stay, don't get out the boat. Nothing outside that boat but sharks, right? Whales. You feel me? What's the little stingrays, right?
It's true. So you don't want to give up. That's what you're saying. Like essentially, this is the relationship God has given us. We chose, and now He's ordained it, right?
Yeah.
We did it in front of Him. Like this was His
made
situation.
vows. Yeah.
So now, how do we make sure that we are all in?
Yeah.
And that just speaks to everything we've discussed.
Yeah. Yeah.